Force in the collegiate game this past season. The injury during the NCAA tournament, they believe, cost the Cincinnati Bearcats a national championship. They believe that he's head and shoulders above Texas center Chris Mims, and that's why he'll be in Fresno, California. A lot of people believe that this guy has all the skills, all the tools, and he may very well push himself possibly into a lottery position in this draft. They're very high on him right now, and they're saying that right
on top. Alonzo Mourning asserting himself early, drives by Ewing for the slam. Later off the miss, Zoe. The rebound, staying in the battle. 29 points for Mourning. The Heat by 9 after the first quarter, but the Knicks come back strong in the second. Kurt Thomas saves it inbounds to start the break, up to Latrell Sprewell, who had 14 in the second quarter. The Knicks by 6 at the break. Spree finished with 24. Third quarter, Chris Childs just carrying the Knicks.
Penetrates, kicks it out,
and he hits the three. 15 points for Childs as the Knicks would go on to win a tight one, 83-82, to win the series in 7 and eliminating the Heat for the third straight year in the playoffs. Coming up the NBA's Most Improved Player Award before the game. Early on, Pacers did not shoot well in the first quarter, but here Dutchman Rick Smits hits the baseline jumper to cut the Knicks' early lead to 14-8. Later in the first quarter, bad news for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing will injure his right foot as he catches a pass. Went off to the locker room. Strained tendon in his right foot, would not return, but Larry Johnson filling in his absence, playing well, knocking down a three from the corner. A game-high 25 for LJ, Knicks by 4. But in the third quarter, Reggie Miller, there's that man. Baseline floater, he had 19 points. This one a much more hotly contested affair, but even though the Knicks held the Pacers well under 100 points, they still won it 88-84 to take a 2-love lead in the series, with Game 3 looming Saturday in New York.
NBA's Western Conference Championship Series edge in Portland. 3 of the best-of-7 showdown on Friday, and Portland came out blazing. Steve Smith with the off-balance three-pointer. Damon Stoudemire for 3. Then it's Scottie Pippen scoring over Kobe Bryant, and Pippen telling Bryant all about it. Blazers up by 10, but Kobe accepted the challenge. Watch him drive the lane, fake Pippen, and then hit the jumper. Then another pull-up jumper in the lane for Bryant. 18 points in the half, 25 in the game. Stacey Ogman, though, came off the bench for Portland in the second quarter. He contributed to that big jam. Blazers by 10 at the half, then Shaquille O'Neal. Only 8 points at the break, stepped it up after halftime. O'Neal with 26 in the end as the Lakers seize the 2-1 series edge.
Dzięki zwycięstwu 106-77 w Los Angeles nad Lakers koszykarze Portland wyrównali stan rywalizacji w finale konferencji zachodniej NBA na 1-1. 29 punktów dla gości zdobył Wallace, wykluczony w poprzednim spotkaniu za 2 przewinienia techniczne. Gorzej niż zwykle spisywali się liderzy Lakers, O'Neal i Bryant. 2 kolejne mecze w Portland.
Go without center Patrick Ewing, sidelined with an injured foot. Indiana exploited the void inside. Rick Smits with the bucket and the foul. Smits with 21 points in the opening half. Then the injury bug bit again for New York. Marcus Camby drives but loses his footing, injuring his right knee. Diagnosed as a sprained ligament, he is day-to-day. Pacers took a 1-point lead into the break. Third quarter, Knicks turn it up defensively. Charlie Ward with a steal. That starts to the break to Latrell Sprewell for the jumper. Later, watch Ward work on Smits, swatting his shot out of bounds. The Knicks hold on to win 98-95, claiming their first game of the series.
To get going. So in order for us to win this game, you got to get going.
I didn't get on him now. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be a dummy to get on the guy that side. The only thing I tell is
come to help the small people. Here's Steve Smith against Glenn Rice. Steve goes right to the middle. Look at the weak side help. Nobody comes. A cheap foul. Shaq never moved to help. The second half, they got aggressive. Here's the double team by Fox on the ball. Reverse the ball. Added a double team. Comes back out. Another double team. Aggressive defense. Sensational defense. Into Ogman. There's Shaq. That's as good as it gets. I think with the...
In the second quarter, telling him, stick to the offense, stick to the offense. Don't revert back to old habits, because that's exactly the kind of game that Kobe was getting into, because Damon Stoudemire was defending him, and obviously he saw that advantage.
Into the next Pacers, Game 3. New York down 0-2 without Patrick, loses Camby, but still finding a way to make this series interesting.
Game 3's performance was eerily reminiscent of New York's march to the finals last season. Without Patrick Ewing and Marcus Camby, who went down with a knee injury in the second quarter, the Knicks employed a smaller lineup and became an up-tempo, aggressive, attacking unit that held its own on the boards, forced 17 turnovers, and somehow outscored the taller Pacers 50-24 in the paint. For one game, smaller was better. Sprewell and Allen Houston benefited the most from the Knicks' small ball attack. With the Pacers choosing not to double team either of them, Sprewell poured in 32 points, Houston added 28. By far their best collective effort of this series.
He's honored by Smiths. Isolation, one-on-one, Houston going to the basket. Weakness of Indiana, no shot blockers. Here, isolation, one-on-one, Jalen Rose has to guard Sprewell. Sprewell faces up, beats him with the jump shot. The weakness we're seeing in Indiana is the same as the Milwaukee. 8 inches bigger than whoever's guarding him. Here it is, Dudley's only going to play him a little bit. He could score all day. He gets 15 shots in the first half, 21 points. Only 5 shots the second half, 4 points. So that's the difference. If they have an...
Including Stevens' latest insider. And though Tracy McGrady bypassed college for the pros, he's still going through the recruiting process. You'll learn about a special visitor he had this week. And Isaiah Thomas heads a class of 6 going to the Hall of Fame this year, but there was one player who was not deemed worthy. Not yet, anyway. We'll talk about that and more after this.
Time now for the delivery of the week. Game 3, Lakers-Blazers, under a minute to go. Kobe Bryant double-teamed as he goes up for the shot, so he gives it off to Ron Harper, and Harper nails the jumper. The Lakers go on to the victory. That's our FedEx delivery of the week.
Isaiah Thomas and Bob McAdoo were the 2 players.
Off the list, some of the same voters vote for the Hall of Fame that vote for that 50 best of all time. And I think they decided they're going to let McAdoo get in the Hall of Fame this year. But James Worthy definitely, with his talent, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame and will be in next year. But McAdoo was voted in.
And it's with Vince Carter, along with Mr. Alvis Smith, who's McGrady's former AAU coach from Florida, who shipped him to Mount Zion Christian Academy in Durham, North Carolina. They were all there trying to find out what McGrady's plans are, because Butch,
Stephen and Kevin have to say. And they'll also give us thoughts on today's game between the Lakers and Blazers. And one of them says there might be a blowout on the horizon. Don't go away.
Coaching that world championship team, but Lon Kruger was his assistant coach. They didn't have any big name players on that roster. They didn't scout any European players because they were expecting to...
Down 11, LA made their move off the miss. O'Neal inside, and the power job. Shaq's teammates would follow his lead. Kobe Bryant crashing the boards, goes up strong, is fouled by Arvydas Sabonis, part of a 17-2 Laker run. At the other end, Mike Dunleavy's team looking for Scottie Pippen. Surrounded, Pippen scores over 3 defenders. Not a great game, though, from Pip. Just 4 for 12 shooting. Steve Smith burying a 3-pointer to end the first half. That gave the Blazers a 5-point lead as they headed to the dressing room. Now it was the Lakers' turn to get hot from deep. Glenn Rice from behind the arc.
Less than 2 minutes here.
Put it in the book. Shortly thereafter, Kobe canned one from 3. LA's lead goes up to 9. They go on to victory and move a step closer. The NBA free throw shooter in the postseason made all 9 of his shots from the stripe. LA shot 70% from the floor in the third, with Rice doing most of the damage. He can't
play, as was Marcus Camby, despite a sprained knee, but a foot injury kept Patrick Ewing out. Despite their injury woes, the Knicks came out smoking. Sprewell with a monster jam, and then Charlie Ward with a great bounce pass to Larry Johnson for the layup. This time, Larry Johnson dishes to Camby for the lay-in plus the foul. The Knicks shot 78% in the first quarter, led by 14 after one. Second quarter, Indiana trying to stay close. Reggie Miller moving well without the ball. Three-pointer from the corner. He had 24 in the game. That cut the Knicks lead to 5. Second quarter, Knicks answering. Ward swings it to Houston. At 17 in the first half. Knicks by 17 at the break. Third quarter, LJ working hard, getting the jumper to go. He had 25 in the game, and the Knicks would hold on to win this one by 2 to square the series at 2 to set up a Game 5 Wednesday in Indiana.
Timeout. Action, and the Blazers were quite happy considering his performance on the court. Off the Arvydas Sabonis miss, look at the hustle by Pippen for the rebound of the putback. Blazers up by a handful early. Lakers, though, hung around to the opening half. Robert Horry, the lob alley-oop to Shaquille O'Neal for the slam. Part of a 31-point effort for Shaq. A big game, though, for the Blazers' big man, Rasheed Wallace. Great second effort here. Wallace with 22 points, 10 rebounds in this night. Just seconds left in the opening half. Detlef Schrempf finds Pippen in the corner. Pippen drains the three while falling down. 15 points in the first half for Scotty. Blazers by 8 at the break. More of the same in the second half. Sabonis hits the jumper. The pride of Lithuania with 12 points in the night. Steve Smith then works on Brian Shaw. He hits the jumper. Smith at 13, and the Blazers stave off elimination behind the 22-point effort of an inspired Scottie Pippen.
And he tried to make a statement early that indeed the Knicks are better with him in the lineup. Unbelievable backward lay-in, and then later off the Allen Houston miss, Ewing with the putback. The Knicks leading by as many as 18 in the first quarter, but in the second quarter they went stone cold. A franchise record playoff low, 8 points in the second quarter on just 2 for 16 shooting. Ewing with just 6 points the rest of the way. Meanwhile, the Pacers getting very hot. Reggie Miller draining 3 of his 16. Then Sam Perkins hits a 3 of his own. The Pacers outscoring the Knicks 25-8 in the second quarter to grab a 2-point lead at the half. And in the third quarter, Pacers stayed hot. Mark Jackson puts one in. Indiana takes it 88-79 on a 24-point night by Travis Best to take a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Scorching start, helped by some great defense. The strip on Kobe Bryant, and Damon Stoudemire goes all the way for the layup. More of the same later on. Kobe blocked by Arvydas Sabonis, and it's Stoudemire again blazing by the Lakers D to score. He had 10 points in the first half. Phil Jackson talking to Kobe Bryant. Maybe try a little slam, and Kobe did just that. 33 points for him. But Portland was just too strong. Great effort by Bonzi Wells. He had 20 points off the bench. That, by the way, is a career high. Kobe trying to keep the Lakers in it. This time finding Ron Harper, basket and the foul. The Lakers get within 6 points. But the Blazers would pull away and hold on to win by 10. Rasheed Wallace with a big slam. He had 18 points. So Portland forced Game 7, which will take place in L.A. on Sunday.
Earlier on Friday, Indiana looking to bounce into the NBA Finals for the first time. Their opponents, New York, needing to win Game 6 to keep their series alive. Latrell Sprewell scoring 11 first-quarter points to give the Knicks a good start at Madison Square Garden. The Pacers, though, weren't to be outdone. Mark Jackson with the lay-in that beats the shot clock. And the next time down the floor, it's Jalen Rose and then Dale Davis with the layup and the foul. The Pacers led by 9 at halftime, but the Knicks came out strong in the third quarter with Charlie Ward finding Patrick Ewing for the layup and the foul. But Reggie Miller with a game-high 34 points, proving the Knicks killer once again, leading the Pacers to the NBA Finals for the first time in their history.
But it looked like they would early on. Portland would just come out shooting. Scottie Pippen with 3 of his 12 points. And then Steve Smith continues the aerial attack. He had 18 points as the Blazers went on an 11-0 run. But the Lakers would close the lead at the half a bit. Glenn Rice with the 3. He had 11 points. And then Brian Shaw feeds Kobe Bryant for the big jam at the end of the half. And the Blazers led by 3 after 2 quarters. Third quarter, Blazers come up big. Rasheed Wallace, he had 30 points. The Blazers had a 16-point lead. But in the end, it was just too much Kobe. The Lakers come all the way back. 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists for him. the Lakers are moving on to the finals. And the Lakers advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1991.
Making their first finals appearance since 1991, while Indiana is making its very first finals appearance. First quarter, Shaq kicking off a huge night. Takes the pass down low, gets the slam over Rick Smits.
Shaq finishes it, and he gets the foul.
Phil Jackson liking what he's seeing early on. Meanwhile, Pacers' big gun, Reggie Miller, firing blank. Just 1 for 16 shooting on the night. He was held to a career playoff low, 7 points. Back to Shaq in the first quarter. The shot clock winding down, beats it. Shaq with 15 in the first quarter alone. Lakers by 15 after 1. Second quarter, Pacers trying to get something going. Travis Best finds Jalen Rose. He hits the 3, cut the Laker lead to 6. But the Pacers just could not find a way to stop the Diesel. 21 points and 7 rebounds in the first half alone. Lakers by 12 at the break. More Shaq in the third quarter. Gets the rebound, slams it home. 43 for Shaq in this game, along with 19 rebounds. The Lakers pull away to win game 1 by 17 points. Our Tom Rinaldi is in L.A. and has a closer look at game 1.
The rhythm for his shot. He didn't make a field goal until 5:40 in the third quarter.
I couldn't, put the ball in the basket, first and foremost. But just for
Now they can take it.
See and feeling good about themselves, so it's time for us to step up for the challenge. You always want
into Shaq. He's catching it way too deep. The passer is not being pressured. They're just laying halfway off the passer. You got to pressure the ball and not let it into Shaq that deep. Here, Smits is letting him catch it 3 feet from the hoop, push him out, and before he takes the shot, that's when you got to foul him. Not in the defensively and offensively. He's letting Shaq catch the basketball wherever he wants defensively. He's coming to help when he shouldn't come to help. He's got to stay home with Shaq. Don't leave Shaq when he's in the paint. That's 2 times he leads him in the paint. Then he gets dumb fouls, 50 feet, 60 feet from the basket. He's fouling Shaq. Foul Shaq when he's in the paint, not when he's away. Jackson, to me, has played great the entire playoffs. And during the regular season, they take Mark Jackson out for the 4th period. But I think in the playoffs, you see Mark is good with the basketball, getting in the paint. He's their best post-up player. I have to play.
And in our Insider, we'll talk about several possible player moves, including Latrell Sprewell and the chance he might be shipped out of New York. Don't go away.
Other players having to fill in the void.
Myself and, Fisher, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, a lot of other guys used to it. When we lose a guy, everyone steps up big.
Our whole team, we learn to play without him and learn how to win without him. So that's
in the offensive end. Don't look for someone else. You got to pick it up.
The other benefit of Bryant's earlier injury is seen every Laker game. The season started with Shaquille O'Neal as the Lakers' clear and dominant leader. The season is finishing that way.
If it was Shaq, it would be different because the ball starts in the middle with him.
Than the Clippers, so he knows how to score. Plus, he's played great throughout the entire playoffs. That means 10 more shots per game almost for Glenn Rice in the triangle offense. I coached Glenn Rice for 4 years. He is a terrific offensive player. Over a 10-year span, he's averaged better than 20 points a game. He'll step up, and he loves the opportunity. I talked to Glenn.
Time now for our FedEx delivery of the week, and it's the Shaw-Shaq redemption. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Brian Shaw, the alley-oop to Shaquille O'Neal, helping seal the deal in Game 1. Another look, perfect pass, and Shaq throwing it down, and there's your Federal Express delivery of the week.
Well, very, very happy in New York. He will be the main cog next year in their offense. I don't think Patrick's going to be as significant offensively. I don't think either player is moving. I think both of them almost had it with Allen Iverson. He's a tremendous, tremendous basketball player, a great competitor. But for him to be the leader that's necessary for Philadelphia to go further, he has to also, off the floor, go by the rules and go to a club where he can be the #1 player on the team. I think Orlando's where he's going to build a home, and then I think he enjoyed playing for Doc Rivers. I would say it's a good chance. Some people say Chicago, but I think if he has the opportunity.
Nessuno però un campione. Qui
Italian broadcasters perhaps telling the folks back home that Bryant, the former Italy resident, was out and that Reggie Miller was on. 16 points in the first half as the focused Pacers jumped out to a double-digit lead. Now time running out first half. Jalen Rose picks it up, checks the clock, takes it the length of the court for the layup plus the foul. Indiana by 11 at halftime. Third quarter, the Lakers trying to get back into it. Shaquille O'Neal muscling his way for a three-point play. Shaq, 33 in this game, but got little help from others. The Lakers would cut an 18-point deficit to 3, but too much Reggie on this night after averaging just 16 points in the first 2 games. Miller broke out for 33 in Game 3 as the Pacers weathered a late Lakers comeback to win by 9 and get back in the series, now trailing 2-1. Reggie Miller coming alive here, hitting the fall away to finish with 35. But an even bigger night for Shaquille O'Neal. 36 points and 21 rebounds for the Diesel. But Kobe Bryant was the hero in this game. Despite his gimpy ankle, he dumped in 28, including 8 critical points in overtime after O'Neal had fouled out. Reggie Miller missed a potential game-winning shot at the buzzer, and the Lakers eked out a 2-point win to take a 3-1 lead in the finals and move within 1 win of their first title in 12 years.
This would be the last game for Larry Bird as the Pacers coach. Now Shaq is doing a little too much to keep the Lakers into it. Big dunk and then pushes Austin Crozier out of the way. He was given a technical foul. The Lakers were down by 7. Seconds left in the half. Check out Kobe Bryant. Stops and pops from downtown. And the Pacers were still up by 3 at the half. They came out hot in the third quarter as well. Reggie Miller with 2 of his 25 points. The Pacers back up by 7, but the Lakers would have a huge run in the second half. Kobe Bryant with the fadeaway and the foul. He had 26 points, 10 rebounds. And then Kobe dishing to Shaquille O'Neal. He had 41 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks as the Lakers come back to win the NBA title. They win 116 to 111. How sweet it is for the Lakers and for Shaquille O'Neal after his frustrations at the free throw line so many times. Now, this victory gave Lakers coach Phil Jackson his 7th title, but his first without Michael Jordan. O'Neal, who is 28 years old, was the unanimous choice for most valuable player of the series, adding to his MVP awards from the regular season and the All-Star game. It was the 12th title in franchise history for the quarter. Check out Mark Jackson turn and shoot from half court, and it goes in. Now, this shot.
Finals, Sam Perkins with the heave put the Pacers 2 up after the first quarter. And then at the end of the second quarter, Kobe Bryant nails the three-pointer to keep the Lakers close. The Pacers also led after 3 quarters. With the power of Shaquille O'Neal, the Lakers were never far out of it. Shaq, most valuable player of the finals, with 41 points as the Lakers win their first NBA title since 1988.